coming out from Twisted Minds, however, which makes it's really difficult job for makes it really difficult.
There's just so much to look at for AP.Bren here, especially in terms of James Panks. Could this be the new Suyo for James Panks here in this?
Hey, that is something that the Hive is looking forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1. It's the opener of Superfan Saturday between AP.Bren and Twisted Minds.
Dairoth is a natural answer to the sustained meta from the EXP lane. Always the counter pick for both the Uranus as well as the Esmeralda, including some of the other additions to that metagame when there were a lot of Famous as well as the Rizla. Those 4 heroes struggle against the Dairoth, and it is typically paired with an assassin jungler that is physical in nature because of the armor penetration that he has. So this is, I would say, a very synergistic lineup that Twisted Minds have concocted.
Yeah, I could see how it would be very fast-paced for them. I could see how they just would literally try to deny that early and first hurdle away from AP.Bren, and rotations would already say a lot. I think the fact that okay, that was a flicker from Lancey, but Lancey will be here as well to respond. That's gonna be an arrow landing onto Escalera. He does get to sustain. There's a double revitalize drop down, and no one will fall from that skirmish.
Massive resources spent on both sides. Again, a couple of battle spells, technical knockouts. I'd say that's a half kill on all the heroes that had to spend their major resources. Turtle spawns, upper quarter. Here comes the rest of them again. JM Pinkman put down to a third.
The only reason why you would do that for AP.Bren is if you want to get a kill, but now you don't have Flicker on Lancey. You don't have Revitalize on Escalera. You might not have enough to contest this first hurdle.
Yeah, but that flicker already from Lancey was very explosive in itself, I gotta say, from AP.Bren, so it seems like they're really trying to take more risks now. They get to clear this first, and AP.Bren still will be ready, but without the revitalizes, without the flickers, how are they gonna hold this down? Twisted Minds already bursting it. That's gonna be Lance who's securing the objective. Escalera eventually falls into the hands of Sean.
There's communications out there for AP.Bren. Not sure what Escalera wanted to achieve, but it seems like they were all poising to jump and pounce into Twisted Minds, but at the last second they hesitated, but Escalera did it. So that's the reason why it looked awkward afterwards.
You didn't need to be in the aquarium to hear the comms. You kind of knew just watching that sequence. Somebody just said, Delta split! And they decided they're not taking that fight. If you know, you know. Sensui now securing the Little Wonder. Again, growing ever the vision advantage. In addition to just range, given the Selena, and of course, just within the clinch, Twisted Minds' propensity for burst, AP.Bren, they're only really playing with Escalera's re-engage, and then that's it. Like, they're playing with Twisted Minds on a fair basis.
Yeah, because it's gonna take some time even for JM Pinkman, I feel, now that he's been sort of shut down in the EXP lane. There's just been so much more space created here for Betty Cutie, which also AP.Bren haven't been really able to put much attention into, and now he's able to accomplish even a double lane, which could speed up things even more for Twisted Minds.
Alright, they force out a Purify out of JM Pinkman. Sensui and Lansu tag team him. This is not a good time to be an Esmeralda.
It's not Sean.
Whoa!
Okay, not gonna connect with that Abyssal Arrow, but look at how Sensui and Lance are trying to burst him down, but the stun's coming in from another flicker play! Lancey saving that engage for AP.Bren.
Yeah, and they also forced the Lansu flicker out there, Escalera. See Sean? Do they have the follow-up even?
It's just gonna be a Falling Star move. No flicker for Sean, however, at least for this upcoming objective, but that's about it.
Yeah, little to no commitment there for AP.Bren. I think that's generally a good trade for them. Now they will be able to position themselves around the next turtle. They do have all of their resources except the flicker coming out from Nancy. So this is still a tricky scenario for them, but same can be said for Twisted Minds. The only thing is they have 1,000 gold advantage over AP.Bren.
Well, which I think at this point is relatively manageable. Arrow thrown out by Sean. Oh, they know that James Banks is still going for his purple. They can't contest. Turtle over to Twisted.
It's just another burst. Twisted Minds have been able to secure 2 consecutive objectives in a row now. AP.Bren though, still, at least despite how much they've been countered out, are trying to keep the gap really tight, but this is gonna be a first down onto JM Pinkman. AOG from Escalera, not landing onto anyone. But Twisted Minds are not gonna force the fight anymore.
Okay. That's a really bad death on AP.Bren because that means that Twisted Minds can position themselves up top, even just needing just the Dairoth to be able to push up top. So the death of JM Pinkman, and this will inflate Twisted Minds' lead again.
Oh, look at this. Lanzu had such a free time with that turret, putting it down to an 8. Sensui. Again, this is what, the second or third time that this tag team has tried to take down JM? And Mr. 50-50, there's very little he can do. Say goodbye to this turret.
That's all they want. But now, AP.Bren, down bottom, they could go for a play, but it's not in the bottom lane that they're going for. It's actually Sean, who they decide to burst down instead. So at least we're seeing more trades come in now for AP.Bren, and that kill went to the hands of James Pax.
They wanted to just get the purple, but they saw that there is an opening 12 seconds before the flicker from Sean is available. So instead of taking the turtle, the purple, I mean, they were able to get a kill. Finally, AP.Bren gets onto the board, but they still have a lot of catching up to do. JM Pinkman prioritizing the Enchanted Talisman in this game.
Yep. And was it the kill after the Sky Piercer for James Pax, or did he?
Oh, wow.
I think it's 10 stacks now.
Okay.
He's had it. He built it sub 5 minutes. So this is 1 stack on the Hirara Sky Piercer. I wouldn't say that's a significant amount of progress for AP.Bren, but maybe turtle number 3. This is where they put their foot down and say mid-game is ours. Spawning in the upper quarter. Tracy and Escalera playing a tug of war. Here comes the rest of AP.Bren.
Yeah, it's the third and last objective, and the first time AP.Bren have actually been trying to burst it down themselves, but it's gonna be soft reset here. That's the Falling Star one coming in from JM Pinkman, but on the back lines, Escalera already very low. AOG out, but it's the Sensui who secures the objective, and James Pax, he fails to steal it away, even if AP.Bren were the ones who started it.
The same fingers that rocked Rizal Memorial are stealing turtles in 2026. A kill for Twisted Minds again. 3-0 plus a couple of bodies. What's going on?
Oh, I'll tell you what's going on. It's just the superior lineup and composition of Twisted Minds showing how it's done against AP.Bren, because we know that they have so much physical burst that even someone like JM Pinkman or Escalera could not stand. Escalera had to pop the Avatar of the Guardian defensively. They were scattered around the map.
Oh, pops it up back into the match. Quick reminder, we are about 7.5 minutes post game start, so that's the 3 turtles down and then about a minute until the Lord spawns.
Okay, despite everything, AP.Bren still has something going on for their team. I generally don't like Enchanted Talisman on Esmeralda, period. Especially if you're the only frontliner for your team, if you're the only contact hero. Because Gatot Kacha, as tanky as it is, you don't want to really start and engage with a fight with the Avatar of the Guardian. You're more like a feel for your team. So if there is someone to show himself in the map to check the bushes, that should be JM Pinkman. And he cannot do that with his Enchanted Talisman first item pickup, especially against a Dairoth. So you really have to wait for your next item here for JM Pinkman. As it stands, the Enchanted Talisman will definitely not be the best tool up against Twisted Minds, but they will need more. The only good thing about the Enchanted Talisman on the Esmeralda is that it's a ramp item that eventually you use for farming, that eventually will get you to more items, if they get there.
So it's mostly waiting for AP.Bren at this point, and I think from the very moment we saw the jab that they went with, that's also kind of what we expected, because the Harith is definitely going to take a bit more time, but as they also take their time, isn't Benny just going to keep going online?
This sounds all good and well for the Hive, the fact that Shizo hasn't died, but you're right, again, Twisted Minds is not taking this line down. They're going to maintain this 3k gold lead, maybe balloon up to about 4,500 if they take this Lord for free, which is looking like the case. Because again, you can maybe wave off about 1,000, 1,500, but almost 4 with this kind of map you're looking at. Again, the side lanes have gotten taken down tier 1 wise, and then you can't even dance properly. I don't know what's going on in AP.Bren's minds right now. The only way that they can win this Lord fight is if Twisted Minds misengage.
Yeah, if I guess if the only surprise angle is what we already saw previously, a flicker in from Lancy too, but getting past or even reaching the key targets would be a tough task for
The
AP.
softies.
And does the damage already suffice? Because I don't think they could find someone to easily burst down at this point just yet. Isolated too, specifically, because Twisted Minds are just already grouping up together at this point. Oh, hold on.
Oh, they force out a flicker. Sean!
Now that's someone isolated. It's gonna be Sean, still generating
no.
some shields and will survive right under the turret. Even though it looked like it could have been a really good pickup for AP.Bren already, but Lancy from the sides! Almost finding Sensui, but as we mentioned, the damage is still not enough.
Ooh, 2 near kills for AP.Bren. Not sure if they're happy with that because they did have to commit the flicker to Lancy. Shizu did not have to commit any of his battle spells and will have his ultimate available in the next Lord fight. Twisted Minds only had to pop their Revitalize as well. Well, they did have to commit 2 flickers.
2 flickers, yeah. So this is the equivalent of AP.Bren making Twisted Minds flinch. I think that's a win.
Yep. Okay.
Take it in stride.
Shizu now has the Holy Crystal. Benikitty had his Trinity maybe a minute before this happened, but now Shizu has matched up when it comes to damage output. So both of the marksmen, the win conditions of AP.Bren and Twisted Minds reaching critical mass, this is really good for both of them.
Whoa.
That's not looking good for AP.Bren though. Them
Clara?
losing out their only front line. Aside from Escalera,
Oh, he popped his conceal too.
it's easily bursted down. You get to see how this itemization really affects how things turn out for AP.Bren. They're still stuck at 1 kill, and now it's Tracy. They're just trying to poke down. Lancy too, dealing a bit more damage. Shizu still has the Zaman Force, but Twisted Minds, can they hold it down? There you go! The Wrath of Dryad coming in from Tracy! Sensui will still secure the objective. AP.Bren could barely get close. James Pass already has some sort of damage, but they're not able to find a kill.
You can see if you lose JM Pinkman, there's no one to check the Lord, no one to hold down Twisted Minds, and they all escape from AP.Bren's grasp. Because apart from any control from the Falling Storm as well as the Avatar, the Guardian, there's nothing that can pin down Twisted Minds. There is the burst from AP.Bren, but they just can't hold down Twisted Minds if they got out of there. And they also get the Lord on top of that. AP.Bren could not afford to lose JM Pinkman that early into that Lord fight. And because of that, Twisted Minds are collecting the Lord and collecting a lot more around the map.
And a lot of this is off the repercussions of the 2,000 gold he spent on the Enchanted Talisman early. Just now he has his Oracle, and then I'd reckon a Dominance Ice up next, but
Yep.
that's 2,000 gold you could have used to be a little chunkier, to buy maybe 2 or 3 seconds more of vision, of contact, of forcing responses from Twisted, and now they're forcing you to respond. They're on that inhibitor.
Ooh, look at Benny bringing Escalera down to half HP! And them losing Shizu is not a good sign. Escalera looking like the next target. Tracy finding the kill. James Banks now he's struggling to even escape. Iframe just to get out. The Lord is finally taken down by AP.Bren, but there are still more waves coming in for Twisted Minds.
Oh, Lancy, a Eudora isn't built to clear waves like this. Twisted Minds penetrate 2 lanes.
Oh man.
Okay, there you go. Lancy flickering out. Missile Arrow does not connect. 3 members of AP.Bren still here to defend. And they somehow will, but that's 2 base turrets. They're very much exposed right now, 13 minutes into the game.
Twisted Minds are relentless. AP.Bren can thank their lucky stars. That inhibitor taken down is at least on the short lane, so they can kind of still dance.
They can still dance. Sean, though, finding the right angle for the Abyssal Arrow up top. Almost catching 2 of the members of AP.Bren. Technically, he cannot do that. I think there was a little bit of miscoms there for Escalera and Shizu. I believe that Escalera wanted to tank the Abyssal Arrow because Shizu still has about maybe 10 seconds or 8 seconds before his Purify was up. And because they were stacked up together, Shizu and Escalera, it made it so that Sean's arrow will always land on someone. It happens to be Shizu, the better target, the way better target in that scenario. Had it been that Escalera was the one hit by the arrow, tanking it for Shizu, there could be a counterplay for AP.Bren. Maybe that will thwart Twisted Minds' attempt on that push. But because there is no Zaman Force that they have to be afraid of, no Harith with 3 items to be afraid of, They just went in for the takedown on the turret. They even get the middle. So you really have to be careful, AP.Bren, where you place your pieces now.
Yeah, because I think Escalera was also below half HP at the time.
That's also true.
So maybe he just desperately wanted to get away and reset, but they're unfortunately again connected an arrow. So, yep, placements, positioning, so AP.Bren. And when are they willing to burn these resources? Because we see that it's the only and possibly main way for them to actually catch Twisted Minds off guard, but it hasn't been working so far.
Blade of Despair picked up by James Banks. This could be their ticket to press down the heroes of Twisted Minds. They just have to find their opening. I wonder if JM Pinkman already picked his third defensive item. Well, second defensive item, that is the Dominance Ice. Could be waiting for the third one.
That's a Pauldron, I believe.
Yep.
On the way. The main physical defense item you can get after the Antiquiras, which I'm hoping he builds eventually too.
Oh,
massive arrow!
God.
This cannot happen.
One! It is going to be a cleanse by Shizo, and they clap back on Tracy.
Now that is the clapback that you need! But the fractures coming in from Sensui! Potentially a massive outplay right now for Twisted
Yes,
Minds, especially as Medicute is able to deal all these free hits. It's gonna be a 2-for-1. It's only Tracy that they lost!
That's a really good trade. The Twisted Minds turned their fallen roamer into 2 kills and a lord.
Oh my god, Sean! Landing 2 abyssal arrows on 1 target. Shizo, the gold laner for AP.Bren, holding the most gold in that team. Holding the damage output, in fact, that they needed for the turtle dance. Shizo had to pop the Purify for the first abyssal arrow hit, survived, and was able to take it back to Twisted Minds by taking down Tracy, but he gets hit by another arrow coming out from Sean on the way out. And AP.Bren have lost because of that.
With Few taking the reins of Onyx as head coach, do we now have another candidate for Selena Goat?
Oh my.
Seems like so.
2 arrows in a sequence? Come on!
There still is Super Fritz,
There is
And
Penguin.
Penguin,
There's a
Anji
lot.
I think
Slay.
everyone who's in mid in MPLPH has to learn how to play Selena.
I agree.
That's a bare minimum. Lord crashing through mid, pressure on that bottom lane inhibitor. Say goodbye. It's a fair base for AP.Bren.
Breakable use on Tracy. Now it's all turrets down. Another episode.
Oh!
Oh my goodness, with them losing another front line, AP.Bren will have more and more struggles and problems of finding counter engages. They don't have an AOG. They just have a falling Star Moon. That's about it. That's multiple stuns coming in from Lansing too, but nothing that Twisted Minds couldn't sustain. They still have their ultimates. They still have the Wrath of Dryad, but they're respecting AP.Bren and they're waiting for the perfect timing.
There it is. They saw the falling Star Moon used by JM Pinkman. I think they know that he has a Purify, so they're not going to force the issue. They're going to play towards the third Lord, spawning in a minute and a half, lower quarter.
Interesting defense coming up from AP.Bren. They were able to actually defend well. Lancy throwing out his ultimate just onto the minions. Whenever there is like maybe 1 or 2 heroes from Twisted Minds and there's a fat wave of minions, he will just throw his ultimate, not minding getting a kill afterwards. Is 0-0 and 2 as the Eudora. You want your Eudora to be very active, but at the same time, AP.Bren just couldn't find their opening in the early stages of this game. That's why they had to really gamble it in the late game. But now, it's a difficult gamble for them. 18 minutes into the game, they have the 18-minute Lord, and they don't have all of their turrets for the defense.
Well, I can't blame them. For them to find their placements, they have to buy time. It has to be JM Pinkman eating 2 or 3 ults. It has to be the perfect AOG. And that's not even considering Twisted Minds bursting down those initiators.
Yeah, and even in previous instances, I think they've been trying different types of approaches to how they could eventually take at least 1 or 2 members down from Twisted Minds. Earlier, it was even Shizo trying to go in for an attempt. Earlier, it was even Lancey trying to go in for an attempt. It was never the kind of sequence you expected, considering their lineup.
And it feels like salmon swimming uphill. It seems like rolling a boulder up a mountain because there's traps in those bushes. I was going to say, hey, plant Lancey into a bush and make like NXPE haze, you know, like wait for like 2 minutes and then burst someone down. They can't do that.
Just a different scenario for them.
Yep. Okay, gotta watch out for the Abyssal Arrows now, but Lancer, they're gonna go in. JM Pinkman already very low. That's the Falling Star Mode coming in from Escalera. Flickers are forced out though. Lancer doesn't have his. And AP.Bren will somewhat regain positioning here in this objective, but it's still a dance.
Difficult dance for AP.Bren because they will have to mind their minions up top. Twisted Minds can play this long game. Can make this dance go longer because they're delaying it. Constantly resetting it so that the minion wave up top will be not manageable anymore for AP.Bren.
Oh, it looks like they made the call. They gotta send back Shizo to clear some waves. And that's what? A technical knockout. That's half a dude that you don't have. Because what's he gonna do? Flying clouds after clearing? Is that fast enough even? Lord now at half health.
Oh no, Escalera doesn't have the time. Couldn't even use the AOG out. Lanzu too, zoning out backlines. Finally gets to use the AOG, but he still goes down. Was that a trap by Sean? Taking down Escalera alongside a Lord secured by Twisted Mind.
It's a trap.
Oh my god. Unbelievable plays coming up from Sean, but at the same time, AP.Bren just can't manage it. Shizo took so much time up top. The Lord is already done and he just finished clearing out the wave up top. That's how much time he needed for the minion
These are
wave.
huge minions. You have no turrets. You're just a little white-haired baby boy.
And that's
And
what
now
Lord
it's suing its body for trying to steal.
Okay, James Panks, can he find a way out of this Winter Crown play from
Oh, the timing
Tensui?
is off.
He's still alive! He can regroup with Twisted Mind. James Panks going in for the chase. Can he find one? Tracy tanking enough, but the immortality
the
just
stun!
And Shizu gets eliminated from the side! Double kill for Sensui as they take game number 1!
AP.Bren trying to delay the inevitable.